Hello viewers, yes, this is Ranjana ma'am and you're watching yes, mine as well as your channel. So welcome back to my channel. Many of you have requested ma'am, when will you finish the syllabus? So a few scenes of Macbeth is remaining. I'm sorry I couldn't complete it last year. So Act 5, Scene 6 I have done up till then, so the remaining scenes are left. So perhaps you all are aware that my husband died on 3rd January and since then I was unable to complete the syllabus. So anyway, I'm back now and whatever is left I will do it for you all. So without wasting any more time, let's start. But before I start, you know what's coming. If you have not subscribed to my channel up till now, please do. And don't forget to press the like button. I'm sure you'll like it. So let's start. So we are to start from Act 5, Scene 7. So war is going on. The opposition force, they have assembled against Macbeth. They have rallied around the king's son, the rightful heir to the throne, Malcolm. So the same another part of the plane. Enter Macbeth. So he seems to be very distraught. They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one am I to fear or none. So Macbeth compares himself to a bear which is tied to a stake. So in those days they would tie a bear to the stake and let loose the dogs. And the dogs would be jumping and pouncing on the bear and finally the bear would die due to the continuous attack by the dogs. So the bear cannot run away, cannot move because it has been tied to the stake. So Macbeth considers his situation to be like that. So that means he is surrounded by his enemies on all sides. So he cannot run away. But like a bear, he has to fight till the end. And then he ponders on that assurance which had been given to him by the witches, or rather their guardian angels, that Macbeth need not fear. No man born of woman can harm Macbeth. So he tries to think on it, that where is the man who was not born of woman, because he is supposed to be afraid only of such a man. Enter young Siward. He is the son of old Siward. Young Siward, he doesn't know who is Macbeth. Yeah, he is from England. So he has rallied around Malcolm, who is his cousin. So when he sees Macbeth, he asks, what's your name? So Macbeth says, thou'lt be afraid to hear it. So you will be afraid if you hear my name. No, though thou callest thyself a hotter name than any is in hell. So young Siward, he might be young, but he is a brave fellow. And he says, no, I will not be afraid, even if your name is more terrible than any devil in hell. So if you have the name of any devil in hell, even then I will not be afraid. My name is Macbeth. So Macbeth proudly says, young Siward, the devil himself could not pronounce a title more hateful to mine ear. So now young Siward says that the devil could not have spoken such a name which is more hateful to me. Why is the name hateful? Because he has heard from Malcolm how Macbeth has killed Duncan, Malcolm's father Duncan, on account of which Malcolm and Donalbain had to run away from their own kingdom and take asylum in England and Ireland. So naturally the name, and not only that, how Macbeth has butchered Macduff's family. All these news have reached young Siward's ears. He has heard all these. That is why the name of Macbeth is very hateful to him. nor more fearful, nor more fearful. So the devil could not have pronounced a name more fearful than my name. That means you should be afraid of me. Young Siward, thou liest, abhorred tyrant, with my sword I'll prove the lie thou speakest. So he says, your name is not fearful, you are telling a lie. You are nothing but a hateful tyrant. Tyrant is an oppressor. So you are nothing but a hateful tyrant, and I will prove that you are lying with my sword. But he is a young, inexperienced fellow. He may be brave, but what is he in front of Macbeth, who is a seasoned warrior, one who had brought glory to Scotland in his glorious days? So they fight, and young Siward is slain. So he is killed. Thou wast born of woman, but swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by man that's of a woman born. So Macbeth says that you were born of woman, that is why you got killed in my hands. But I make fun of the swords and weapons handled by men or wielded by men who are born of women. That means men who are born in the natural way. I am scornful of them. I am not afraid of them. I am scornful. So he should only be afraid of someone who is not born of woman and no one else. Alarms. Enter Macduff. So Macbeth leaves the stage, and then who comes? Macduff. Macduff is also in search of Macbeth. He wants to catch hold of Macbeth, fight, challenge him to a fight and kill him, or rather die in the process. Macduff. Why the noise is? Tyrant, show thy face. So in the meantime, Macbeth has exited, and then comes Macduff. So Macduff most probably has heard the sound, and he comes hearing Macbeth's voice, but Macbeth is not there. He has already left. Tyrant, show thy face. If thou beest slain with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. So he hears the noise of battle coming in this direction. Yeah, Macbeth and young Siward, they were fighting, and hearing this noise, Macduff comes here, and then he wants to come face to face with Macbeth. He says, if you are killed by someone else other than me, then my wife and children, they will not forgive me. They will be haunting me forever. I cannot strike at wretched kerns whose arms are hired to bear their staves. Either thou, Macbeth, or else my sword with an unbattered edge, I sheath it again undeeded. There thou shouldest be. By this great clatter, one of greatest note seems bruited. Let me find him, fortune and more I beg not. So he doesn't want to attack these Irish soldiers who are in the army of Macbeth. He doesn't want to kill them. His only target is Macbeth. He doesn't want to shed the blood of these Irish soldiers. Macbeth has hired these Irish soldiers, given them money to fight on his behalf. So he doesn't want to kill them. He says, either I fight with you, Macbeth, or let me put my sword in my sheath again without using it. He doesn't want to use his sword against anyone else. And then he hears some noise outside, and he says that judging by the noise, which indicates one of the fiercest battles going on, I think I should find you there. So he hears noise outside, off stage. So he wants to go there to see what is happening. He wants to go and see if Macbeth is there and challenge him and fight. So he is rather urging fortune to help him, and he doesn't want anything else. To help him in what? In his quest, in his search of Macbeth. And after that he leaves the stage, and who are the ones who come? Malcolm and old Siward. This way, my lord, the castle's gently rendered, the tyrant's people on both sides do fight. The noble thanes do bravely in the war. The day almost itself professes yours, and little is to do. So Siward, this is old Siward, the father of young Siward. He tells Malcolm that, come this way, my lord. The castle has been surrendered without any struggle. Why? Because the people who were in charge of guarding the castle, they have surrendered without any resistance. Why? Because they really don't want Macbeth to win. If they are fighting or doing their job, it is because they have been paid. So they have given up the castle without any fight. They have surrendered without any resistance. So the tyrant's people, that means Macbeth's people, are fighting on his side as well as ours. The noble lords, they are fighting bravely in the war. So remember, a group of lords were waiting, and when Malcolm's army entered Scotland, they went and joined them. So the tyrant's army fighting on both sides. The lords are doing bravely in the war. They have joined hands with the king's son, because they consider that the king's son is the rightful heir to the throne, and Macbeth is nothing but a usurper, and that also a cruel usurper. So Siward gives a good piece of news to Malcolm that the day is almost yours and only a little remains to be done. What little? To kill Macbeth. That is what is remaining. We have met the foes that strike beside us. So we have met with enemies who fight by our side. Siward, enter, sir, the castle. So, sir, please enter the castle. The castle has been surrendered without. So this is done scene in Macbeth's castle, and it has been surrendered without any resistance. So, sir, please enter. So this is where your Act 5 scene 7 ends. So since it is not a big scene, I will try to complete the others also in this one, or at least Act 2, Act 5 scene 7 and scene 8 in one video. Another part of the field, this is where, so war is going on in different parts. So Macbeth enters another part. Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? Whilst I see lives, the gashes do better upon them. So Roman fools, so in Julius Caesar, Shakespeare had shown that Brutus had told one of his loyal friends to hold the sword as he ran into it. Why? Because he wouldn't commit suicide. The same with Cassius. So he also told his slave to kill him. So Macbeth doesn't want to do the same. He says that, why should I commit suicide like the Roman generals? Why should I take my life with my own sword? Why should I commit suicide? So as long as I see enemies in front of me, I will keep on attacking them because it suits them better. So long as enemies are in front of me, I'll go on killing them. Why should I commit suicide? Though he knows the battle is more or less over, he is defeated, but still he wants to be killed. He doesn't want to kill himself. He wants to be killed or kill, whichever. So long as he is alive, he will go on killing his enemies. Enter Macduff. Now Macbeth's last hours have come. Turn, hellhound, turn. So Macduff, when he sees Macbeth, can you imagine the rage that is within him? It is as if about to burst, because here is the hellhound, the hound of hell. He calls Macbeth. Why? Because this is the man who has slaughtered his whole family, his servants, his relatives, all the people who were in his castle. He is responsible for their death. Of all men else I have avoided thee, but get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already. So Macbeth, he turns on being called by Macduff, and then he says, of all the persons I have wanted to avoid you. Why? Because even he feels that he has shed a lot of blood of Macduff's family, and he doesn't want to stain himself with fresh blood. So he tells, of all the persons I have wanted to avoid, it is you. So get away from here. My heart is already burdened with the murder of your people, of your family. Macduff, I have no words, my voice is in my sword. Thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out. So Macduff, he refuses to speak. He says, I am not going to speak. Whatever I wish to speak, my sword will act on behalf of my voice. You are nothing but a villain, and you are more murderous or more, bloodier. So you are more murderous than words can describe. And then they start fighting, Macbeth versus Macduff. Macbeth, thou losest labour, as easy mayest thou the intrenchant air, with thy keen sword impress as make me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crest. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born. So he says, you are just wasting your energy. So you can hurt me no more than you can put a mark on the air with your sword. Yeah, can we pierce the air? No, you cannot pierce the air with your sword. You can pierce those things which are solid, but how can you pierce the air? So he is telling that you are wasting your energy in the same way as you cannot pierce the air with your sharp sword. You can attack the people. You can attack the people with your swords, those people who can be defeated, but I have a magical life, and it is not to be ended by one born of woman. That means someone born of woman can do me no harm. My life is a magical life. And now the greatest jolt will come to Macbeth when Macduff speaks, and he will realize how the witches had in reality given him false hopes. Regarding Birnam Wood, he has learnt his lesson, and this is the toughest truth to bear. So Macduff says, despair thy charm, and let the angel from whom thou still hast served tell thee, Macduff was from his mother untimely ripped. So he was not born of woman. He was ripped, or he was extracted from his mother before time. So Macduff says, give up your faith in these magic lives. Give up your faith in it. So, and let that God or that angel whom you have served, in a way he means to say the demon whom you have served, tell you. So let that angel whom you have served, or let that demon whom you have served tell you that Macduff was taken out prematurely from his mother's womb. He was not born in the natural way at the time, at the right time. He was not a normal delivery. It was not a normal delivery. It was one of the earliest cesarean cases in history. So he was not brought in the normal manner of childbirth. He was rather extracted from his mother before time. Now Macbeth knows the truth, that Macduff is the one who is not born of woman. That means not a normal childbirth. He had been extracted before time. He was not born. He was extracted. Now Macbeth is really angry at the witches for having given him false hope. So what does he say? Accursed be that tongue that tells me so, for it had cowed my better part of man, and be those juggling fiends no more believed, that palter with us in a double sense, that keep the word of promise to our ear and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee. So now what Banquo had told Macbeth comes to be true. Macbeth had said that these instruments, they they tell you the truth in smaller matters and fool you in bigger matters and put you in the path of danger. Something like that he had said, and that is what happened. Yes, the prophecies of his becoming the king, of his becoming the Thane of Cawdor, but these, when he visited the witches the second time, the weird sisters, what was he told? That he should be afraid of Macduff. Beware of Macduff, one. Second one, Macbeth need not fear till Birnam woods come to Dunsinane. And he had thought, how can woods move? And it proved to be true. The woods really did move when the soldiers of Malcolm, they hid themselves behind a branch of a tree, and in this way they made their progress towards Macbeth's castle. And the third one, this one also he feels betrayed. Malcolm Macduff was not born of woman, so he is the one Macbeth should fear. So Macbeth is really angry, and he tells that, may your tongue be cursed for giving me this news, because my soul now has become, it now lacks in courage. And then he curses the witches that let no one believe these juggling fiends, these devils. Fiends means devils. Why? Because they are deceptive. Let no one believe these deceptive devils. Why? Because they play upon us with double meaning words, ambiguous words. So Macbeth had thought this could not happen, but it could happen. Rather, it happened. They palter us with a double sense that keep the word of promise to our ear and break it to our hope. So they pour such words, such promising words in our ears, and then these words and promises are broken and make us feel disappointed. So I am not going to fight with you. Why? Because he has lost courage, because he knows his end is near. So he gives up hope. He doesn't want to fight anymore. Macduff, then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee as our rarer monsters are, painted upon a pole, and under it, here may you see the tyrant. So then Macduff tells something very shameful for Macbeth. He lays a very shameful condition for Macbeth. He says that if you want to surrender, if you don't want to fight anymore, then surrender. You are a coward, and you will be exhibited before the people. Live to that. We will paint you and fix a note on a pole with this written, here you can see the tyrant. So what an insulting treatment Macbeth will be given if he surrenders. Now Macbeth's whatever bravery was remaining within him, it fuels him, and he accepts the challenge of Macduff. And what does he say? I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse. So finally that last vestige of courage in this man comes back, and he dies like a brave person fighting. So he says, no, I am not going to surrender to kiss. Yeah, that is what he will be told to do, kiss the feet of young Malcolm and be baited or tortured by the rabble, means the common people or the crowd. Yeah, the crowd may be throwing stones at him and rotten eggs and what not. And the rabble, which was at one time afraid of Macbeth, they shivered at his sight, and now they will be throwing stones and jeering him and tormenting him. So I am not going to suffer all these humiliations. Though Birnam would be come to Dunsinane, and thou opposed, being of no woman born, yet I will try the last. So he had been warned, Macbeth need not fear till Birnam woods come to Dunsinane, and he had also been told that no man born of woman can harm Macbeth. But these have proved to be true. That means my end is near. But still, I will not give up hope. I will try till my last breath. Before my body I throw my warlike shield, lay on Macduff, and damned be him that first cries hold enough. So he accepts the challenge of Macduff, and he puts on his shield before his body, and he says, yes, Macduff, let us fight. And the person who asks to stop the battle, may that person be cursed. That means they will fight till death. And the battle between Macduff and Macbeth will end only when one of them dies. So they start fighting, and finally Macbeth is killed. So the end of the main protagonist, Macbeth. When the drama had opened, he was such a hero, Bellona's bridegroom. And in Act 5, Scene 8, we find him slain by Macduff, the Thane of Fife. So this is where your Act 5, Scene 8 ends. So these are simple scenes. Actually, the summing up of the battle, not much left. So the remaining 2 scenes I will do in the next video. Just watch out for it. And bye for the time being. Don't forget this.